Okay, guys, so it's really happening. I'm sorry for the bad photo quality at the moment. I went back to my little webcam now because I had to give back the camera I borrowed from school, but I will borrow a camera soon again. I have one here. It got shitty audio. It's for other stuff. It doesn't matter. Let's get into it. Okay, so the Batman 22 just had its first reviews, and this is what they're saying. I'm going to speculate a little bit about what they might mean and what they do mean and stuff like that. So let's start. Okay, so the first one is saying Rob is a great Batman, more relatable than the others previously. I feel like Batman is all about showing off his money, cars, gadgets, etc. Director, writer chose to spend their time exploring him as a human person with feelings. This is something I've always felt is a bit bad about the earlier Batmans. I mean, sure, Bruce is a character of layers. He's supposed to show off his, cars and such when he's supposed to be a playboy or supposed to act as a playboy, but he really isn't, just for the sake of no one believing he is Batman. But no one really just shows off how sad the character really is. I mean, we've seen it partly in Batman vs Superman through some cutscenes and yeah, more or less just scenes of him looking depressed, but it's no writer or director has really gone into it and showed off what his emotions really look like. So I'm really excited to see what this does mean. And what can I say? This is great. I love it. I love the idea of this. Let's move on. And this is something we already knew, but their relationship is warm. It's not that Alfred doesn't want Bruce to fight. He has a bunch of things that he needs Bruce to do, attend the meetings, etc. Bruce is never home and refuses to show up. And this is something I like. For now, we will see that Alfred knows that Batman or Bruce has to do what Batman has to do, but we will also see him just like slightly what we saw in The Dark Knight and the Dark Knight trilogy overall, how he wants him to stay Bruce for his father's legacy, because this is going to be, and I'm not saying this 100% sure, but probably a little bit younger Alfred than we're used to. It's not going to be one of the older ones that we've seen earlier. This is going to be a bit younger version of Alfred. I think he's going to be 50 to 60 and not 60 to 70. So a bit younger, so he will be, Thomas Wayne will be very, as he always is, someone that means a lot to Alfred. And he wants him to keep Thomas and Martha Wayne's legacy alive, go to meetings, do the shit you have to do, but be your father's son. That's something I think they will show off perfectly. And they've already said that the heart of the movie is their relation, and we already knew this. And it's just going to be a lot of fun to see this actually happening. Like, I've always loved the bond when Alfred feels like the father figure to Batman that he never was able to have. They're showing off this perfectly in Gotham. I love how they're portraying this in Gotham. It looks so good, and it gets your heart so warm. So I'm really excited to see what this will look like in the movie. And then we have Robert Pattinson's Batman is the world's greatest detective. He's so smart. The police hate him. He outsmarts everyone, and the Gotham PD literally needs him to snatch Riddler's ass up. What they're saying is that more or less he's the world's greatest detective, and
dope as fuck.
The Riddler is more or less matched up to him, and that's something we could speculate about because we knew that this movie would go into the more detective side of Batman, which is something I've always wanted to see because we never see this as much as we should. But now we're actually going to see him portrayed as a detective. That's so funny to see, and the Riddler is the perfect choice of a villain here. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun to see in the upcoming sequels. It's just going to be a lot of fun to see how the villains adapt after Batman being world's greatest detective for once, because that's not something we've seen in the earlier live action movies that much. There's also been said that we're going to see a lot of Zoe Kravitz with Catwoman, which is also a very good thing to hear, and something that makes me very, very happy to hear, because That's something I've waited for so long, and I was wondering like if they're going to pull off like having Carmine Falcone, having Penguin, having the Riddler. Will Catwoman be able to have enough screen time? And people seem to have enjoyed Catwoman really much, so that probably means yes. And remember, when listening to this video, what they saw was a 3 hours cut. The movie will not be 3 hours long. It will be cut to, let's see, say between 2 and 3 hours. So maybe 2 hours and 30 minutes, 2 hours and 40 minutes, something like that. But it will most likely not be 3 hours long, which kind of sucks ass because I wanted to be 3 hours long, but that's not going to happen, probably. But to see Zoe Kravitz Catwoman being good is very funny to hear, because I've been so excited to see a new adaptation of Catwoman, because we saw it in The Dark Knight Rises and I wasn't really the biggest fan of it, but it's really funny to see that Catwoman is back in it again. There is also a lot saying like the Riddler is really great, and you know the fighting scenes were very good, and you know etc etc. I don't want to go through all that because that's really just saying the movie is good. We're supposed to speculate here. We're just having a debate here and questioning things, and you know all that. If you're a fan of this channel, you know that by now, probably, hopefully, and that's what we're going to do. The last thing I want to mention before we go into the best for the two best parts is the fact that they said that the Riddler was very nice, was very like he was deranged, more or less. He was sick, he was crazy, and that's something I'm really excited to see with Riddler. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited. I hope you guys are too. But now let's go into the two biggest things about this one. First off, they say it leads up to a sequel, and this might be something that goes through the movie or something that I personally think is going to be revealed at the ending, because people also said that in the ending of the movie there's a scene where everyone was just oh my god, this can't be happening, and there will be some kind of cliffhanger, some kind of plot twist at the ending. And what I think this is either Catwoman and Bruce going on a date, because we know, as they said earlier, that Alfred wants Batman to be Bruce Wayne too. So I think it will force Bruce to go on a date with Selina Kyle, and they will go to the Flying Graysons, to a circus, and when they go to this circus, the Flying Graysons will be revealed and their parents will die. Like Dick Grayson's parents will die at the ending. That's what I think, personally. But it could be something else as well. It could also be a reveal of the Court of Owls that has been speculated to be in the movie. We're not sure about this, but as I said, I'm just speculating. But either way, we know that it's going to be a cliffhanger in the ending or lead up to a sequel. What do you think that means? What do you think they mean by that? Comment down below what your thoughts are on this. And last up, Batman does not kill in this movie. That's something that is great, and if you follow this channel, you know for a fact that I'm really mad that after The Dark Knight Rises they went pretty off with that. Because sure, and I'm going to say this, in the Batman 2022, we will most likely, if Matt Reeves isn't a complete genius, see that Batman in some way does an accident that results with someone dying. That I do think that might happen. I do think so. And I'm very aware that that happened a lot with Bale's Batman, and every time you have a conversation about Affleck's or the direction of Affleck's Batman, people always bring up this, like, oh, but Bale did this and this, and Bale once, I don't know, stepped on someone's foot and that person had a bomb and then he exploded, so that's Bale's fault, you know? And I do think some things like this might happen in this movie as well. I'm pretty aware that what they said more or less was that they show off that he's very against killing, and that's something I am so glad is coming back, because I am one of the fans who really dislikes when Batman kills. I don't know if it belongs to the plot or whatever. That's just really good for me to hear. Comment your thoughts about Batman having a no-killing rule in the Batman 2022. It has been mentioned before during DC Fandom 2020, but I'm so excited that we're going to see more on October 16th, 2021 this year. That was everything for this video. A little bit of a breakdown and speculations, more or less me talking bullshit for what's about 12 minutes and 30 seconds. Probably a bit cut, so it's about 10. But yeah, that's everything for me for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a thumbs up and a subscription and comment down below if you're as excited for Batman 2022 as I am. David out.